name is Philip Henderson. For as long as I could remember, I've been fascinated with the spirit world. The only true reality of life is death. Death comes to all. Astral dwellers, elemental ones, extraterrestrials, multi-dimensional travelers. All this I've summed up to mean the XRealm. Come with me into the XRealm projects, where I'll show you real people and how they interact with the XRealm. Welcome to the Enchanted Forest. I'm really excited to bring you this episode because it's taken over 2 years to put together and to investigate. Many hours of the trail cameras that we've put up, I've looked at. I've come here in the day and the night, and personally I've had my experiences of the paranormal. I first heard about this place over 2 years ago. I've got a local Facebook page that documents and records the paranormal activity of our region here. A guy mentioned to me that he had experienced something quite terrifying in this location. I spoke to him, and the following is what he said. About 9 years ago, 4 young men, they were about 16, planned on coming to this location and doing some hunting. 3 of the young men were dropped off by one of the mothers. They walked into the forest and went to the location, which they planned to camp the night and have a fire. The 4th was going to turn up a bit later. When the 3 went to the location, they found a pile of wood that was neatly piled, and they just assumed that was the 4th member had arrived already and was out doing a hunt. Well, he never turned up. Later that night, after they'd settled in and got the fire going, one of them had to go to the toilet. Well, he went to the loo. Then all of a sudden, he heard this screaming that he expressed to me was like a piano key, going just constantly, sound like a young girl. This light emanated from the forest and it was surrounding him. He turned to his mates and they were in their sleeping bags holding their knife. The light seemed to be coming closer to him. He turned around and ran back to the camping site. His mates were just frozen and quiet, terrified. Nothing like this that he had experienced before, and he told me he'll never forget this experience. He got back to his sleeping bag, like I said. Then all of a sudden this light's above him, about 30 centimetres away from his face, and just blasted him with this screaming and just blasted him with this bright light. This was ongoing through the whole night. Occasionally through the night, they would peek through their sleeping bag and the light was still present. They could see a little figure. This little figure, they could not see the features, but it was like flooded out by the light. The sun started to come up and they noticed that the screaming had stopped. The 3 young men got out of their sleeping bags and just looked around the forest to try and make sense of what had happened. About 100 metres from the camping site, they found a pentagram that were made out of stone, little stones, and they looked up and there was a goat's head suspended from one of the tree branches. When they found this site, one of the young guys, he shared with them that he had experienced the same event a week before. Understandably, the 2 other young guys were quite angry with him, like saying, "Why the hell didn't you share that with us?" And he explained, "Well, I didn't want you to dog out on the hunt." He didn't want them to cancel due to this terrifying experience he had experienced. Now, the guy who told me this story, let's call him Toby. I begged Toby to come out here and at night time and just so I could experience what he had experienced. Not at all. He wanted nothing to do with this place at night time. But he did come out here in the day, and that's how I know where the exact location of the camping site is. Now, in this episode I'm about to show you tonight, I've brought different groups of people into this location to get what they feel on this area. I posted on the local paranormal page about if anyone had experienced anything paranormal or bizarre in the location where the Enchanted Forest is. Well, some people got back to me and mentioned they saw unusual lights in the sky. I couldn't wait to start this. I'm open to communicate. Light it up if you want me to stay. Another response if you want me to stay. Oh, you want me to stay. Light it up if you want me to go. If it doesn't light up, that does not contradict the original question. Are you female? Are you female? Are you male? Are you male? Yes. Do you live in the forest? Do you live here? Yes. Did you die here? Light it up, please, if it's a yes. Did you die here? Are you more stronger at night time? Are you buried in the forest? Is your body here? Light it up if it's a yes, please. Is your body here? I guess it's a no. Are you stronger at night time? Light it up for a yes. Would you like me to come back at night? Light it up for a yes. Will you show me yourself at night time? Light it up for a yes. Will you show me yourself? Thank you. You have nothing to be fearful of me. Troy Pearson from iTricks Productions came out with his drone, and he found that there was a certain spot in the forest that the communication to his drone, something was interfering with it. I put the trail cams up in this area and I was able to record an electronic interference that I cannot account for. Now, over the time of the investigation, I've come across 10 trees with this scarring. Now, personally, I've walked through a lot of pine forests and I've never seen this phenomenon. It goes all the way to the top of the trees, and at the top of the trees, it's dead. So that's 10 trees I've found here. In no other pine forest have I found this phenomenon. And it just so happens it's here, in the Enchanted forest. I'm not an expert in this, but the age of these marks are all similar to the other trees I've found. I found 4 trees in the time span of 2 weeks, and they're all fresh. But I haven't come across a tree that has this scarring that looks like it's heaps old. This was the first tree I found with this scarring. I'll show you footage of it when it was freshly found. And compared to now, you can see that it's aged. Now, this was all done by lightning. Let's look at the big picture of what brought that lightning there, and maybe that influencing the XRealm. Quartz has been known to attract lightning, and this location is covered in quartz. Now, I started to bring people out to the Enchanted Forest to get their feedback, and I decided to bring out Dan Stevenson. He started in the early days with XRealm. He's moved on to other areas now. We were thinking of staying the whole night at the Enchanted Forest and experimenting with different ways to communicate. Around 2 a.m, from out of the blue, we heard this loud banging like something was hitting a tree deep in the valley, and a roar just blasted through the forest as.
I had my sound recorder aimed at the forest, but in between me and the forest there was a pool of water. There was a lot of frogs croaking in there. So the sound recording of the banging and the roaring was not the same as what we actually witnessed. It wasn't as clear, but you can still hear it. So please put your headphones on and give it a listen, because this really spun us out. Let's listen to that again. While this banging was happening and this roaring was happening, I could hear a plane going overhead. But the thing was, I never saw a plane and the sound stayed there. Dan was trying to tell me that it was the sound of its breathing, this beast.
It's breathing.
A couple of minutes later, we saw this misty light come on top of the tree canopy in front of us. I look down at my feet and I see these lights going around me.
I keep seeing light around me now, like flickers. Like, yeah, it's lit up around me. Yeah. Have a look at me. Let's have a look at me. Yeah.
Certain places in this forest didn't make sense to me, like trees being broken off clean and the top of the tree not seen anywhere around it. So it's like it was snapped and thrown. Now I started watching shows around the world about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and in Australia we've got the Yowie. Well, with certain signs I was seeing in these TV shows, I was seeing in the forest. So I was starting to think, and with my experience with Dan Stevenson of this tree knocking, then this roaring that happened came from the forest and other phenomena, well, nothing surprised me. So I kept my mind open.
Yeah, I'm out here with Wendy and her daughter. They went back to the car quite promptly. So I heard like a pig. I was in the same area. I didn't hear nothing. I just kept strolling. Found a mad place where there's heaps of quartz. And I thought I heard a girl. Like a real shallow voice, like this.
It looks like there's a stone circle that's been made. So I concentrate on this area. Soon I get a response to a question that was not on the spirit box, but it was said into the microphone of the camera. I will show this at the end of the spirit box session.
Little girl, are you here? Do you want to be unburied? Do you want to find peace? What is evil? What type of evil is here?
I did heaps of spirit box sessions within the Enchanted Forest, and I always got weird and interesting words and even sentences coming through. I won't show you them all because a lot of people just find them boring, but yeah, very intelligent the responses I did get in this one I showed.
Oh, are you really?
Here we are at the forest. I've got a group of ladies here, they call themselves the sisters. I'm very curious to see a feminine take on this place. So we're going to go in there and just, I'm going to follow them and just see what they can pick up. And I'm sure the ladies will come back here again another day. You ready, ladies?
Yes. We're ready.
All right, let's go.
Very female energy, picking up very much female energy here.
Okay.
up that there's been some skirmishes here between Aboriginal, possibly some early white people.
There's definite
There's
unfortunate
definitely been
deaths.
some stuff.
I'm getting extraterrestrial as well. Some sort of ET activity here.
Chinese community. Gold. Because these trees are new to what we're feeling. They're not meant to be here. Being a cash crop of some sort.
Is there a stream anywhere or a creek running?
It started off with like this huge, massive big kangaroo, and then there were a heap of Aboriginal people all painted, and they had spears, and it took like 10 of them to actually get the kangaroo. It was so big. It was like a dinosaur kangaroo, like if you imagine the great big ones. And then I disappeared off to Mungo National Park, and I have one of my dear friends was an elder of one of the tribes around Balronald, and he came and talked to me and said, if you're going somewhere you have to be mindful to take something from here. And I had a bird that was born there, so that's why I got the feathers.
Boris?
There's a young adult male around here. I'm not picking up any trauma. He just feels very much at home here. He's got coloured skin, but not. If he's Aboriginal, he's mixed blood. He's just here. He says, "This is my place." It's something like Harry or
Henry.
Corey or
It's Henry.
Chad.
Sorry, I've been just quietly listening, and I immediately got Henry. So, letting you go Harry first, yeah. I was getting Henry or Harry.
Okay.
And then I got Corey, Chad. So, is Chad a short form of Charles or Harry or
Chadwick,
Chad,
maybe,
yes.
something? But yeah, Harry was the first name that came in.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not coming in close and saying, "I want to talk." He's just.
It's like he doesn't need to. He's just
he's
being
just here.
here.
He's just here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. He's coming in strong now, which is. He's like a custodian in a way. He says it's nice to have visitors that are kind.
I'm actually picking up that he was killed out here. I don't want to say suicide, but I think that his life ended very suddenly around
This
here.
place is a peaceful place for him. He's not feeling the trauma now. He feels very much at peace here.
Almost like during his life he never got to experience something so beautiful. So now that he has, he's very keen to stay and allow it to truly, encapsulate him.
Pressure on a certain part of your body? Or just, yeah, okay.
Feel it in here.
And here,
Right.
a little bit anxiety too. I'm feeling a little bit anxious right now. And here, yep,
Yeah.
definitely. Coming together of disparate people that from way different backgrounds and the clashing. And yeah, see, I just asked her whether it was hostile. It says definitely not. More curious. Watchful, yes. I wouldn't say it's totally benevolent, but it's not at all evil.
Just down where that little creek starts. I just want to see what you guys pick up down there.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Okay. These supernatural feelings.
Is it bad or good?
It's neutral. It's saying the entity I'm picking up is not human. Definitely not human. That it had interactions with humans. I've got a person. And
Big
he
person or
just
little?
says that's the way it is.
Little person or big person, Heather?
A grown person. I get the energy like of a teenage human, but had interactions with. It's like he came here to seek out. It could have been his initiation, or he was given a task to do. It might have been like he had to prove himself in some way, and it didn't go well for him.
Well, I got like a child,
Yeah.
really pretty child with blonde hair, and a really, really big man
Right.
chasing her. Pretty, but she was absolutely terrified and running down there. And then I felt really sick. I was going to get out of here.
Well, see, I've got the man, and he's just saying that's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
But he was dark,
Yeah.
As in
dark
energy.
Yeah.
It was almost like it was a lair of some sort, like a place where this
Things
presence
were
would
kept.
retreat to. The place was known as a place of darkness,
Yeah.
and they would choose to come here to prove themselves.
Very different energy to up.
Yeah, this
The
is
other
very
place.
different. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I'd love to know what's under there.
I'm getting that there was a can of some sort built here.
Can.
Rock formation, you know, like
Oh.
they build them up.
Oh, yes.
Stack,
See that
stack,
there?
stack. Or it could have been, yeah, like PJ said, a place of worship or offerings.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Or
offerings.
initiations.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. So a lot of these rocks have been made to look like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That when you're building a can,
Oh.
you need rocks
Cut
like
off
that.
Yeah, they'd all
They've
fit.
cut them
That
off. Yeah.
they lock
But
in.
they would have gone and searched and
Yeah.
brought them back here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This was put here by the mob, hey?
Yes, and I think when the Chinese came into their get rich quick, they're not very
I think that's a
sympathetic
mine,
to
Yeah, other people's.
other people's
But okay.
heritage and culture.
Wow, look at the tree.
And I do believe,
It's
Yeah,
lit
it's
up.
different, isn't it?
It's lit
there
up
was
too.
a
That's the
massive
only gum tree.
Yes,
lit
I
up.
noticed that.
Look at that.
Saw it had stuck out like,
dog's balls.
yeah, it did. I saw it like,
But there was a big confrontation out here,
Okay.
and I know the mob won.
there's another
My
one.
head's going around and around.
So is there a feminine indigenous feeling here? Because I've picked up from you see mass males,
I'm
but
afraid Chinese has really got me.
Yeah, me too.
It really has. But,
But they've
under that,
appropriated it.
Yeah, under that is way, way ancient.
Yeah.
okay, I'm down at the what I've started to call the Enchanted Forest. I'm here with Chris. Chris is a ET experiencer. He's had a few experiences with UFOs. I brought him here because when you're exposed to such energies like that, it makes you a bit more open to paranormal experiences.
There's a number of them as well, I can't explain.
So Chris, you're feeling drawn down this area, are you?
Some just keep walking in this way.
So you're still feeling drawn?
Yeah, something just
So Chris has taken us to an area where I spotted a couple of times and I felt strong energies. Alright, we just had a good peek on this EMF reader. Hoping for it to come back again. Talk again, Chris.
Hello.
All our electronic devices are on plane mode, so we actually don't have a reason for that peak.
that crackling sound?
No. All right, Chris is hearing a crackling sound.
It's speaker crackling, like a radio hasn't quite blended in or something out of a loose wire on a speaker, you know what I mean?
Good, good. Okay, well we have picked up electro interference before. So Chris is just following his instinct here, and he saw something that was shining in the distance, in the, what, a shimmery or glittery type of thing?
No, just something a lot brighter than normal. Like white.
Around here?
Corner of the eye.
In what direction there, Chris?
It's in this way.
Let's go that way.
Heading in this direction, but I keep hearing the crackling sound.
There is trees falling on trees, and it's windy and things could be creaking.
Exactly like the speaker.
Interesting.
Wires aren't quite on it. They're really quite loose. It's crackles or you can't quite hear a radio station. It's in this direction.
What's that?
That white shining thing close to the tree.
Okay.
Might have the sun hitting in a certain spot.
Well, let's go and have a look at that. Alright, we're just investigating an area that Chris saw a shining light. We were thinking it could have been this thing, but we were in that direction behind that. So no way, that's all. Hang on, sorry, I'll zoom back here. That's all covered big time. So we couldn't see through that. Whilst walking around with Chris, we go to the location where we found the 2 trees that were scarred. And later with Peter Michelle, we found another one right nearby.
So it's got this bark, it's actually wood in the tree, see? The bark is here, it comes off. That's actually gone right up into the wood.
Look at the splinters hanging out the top there. This is freshly done, like a couple of days, I'd say. Not even the sap's come out yet. So that's very interesting. We found 2 trees
Next to each other
with this phenomena. When we were starting to walk in the forest, Peter was walking up here, stood there, and yeah, can you continue what you saw, Pete?
I stopped for whatever reason, and as I was standing here, I saw a shadow split between the trees. There was a shadow that went from the ground to my highest line of sight. There was this movement from tree to tree to tree, and it was dark. It was just a flash. Maybe the first time you could have imagined it, the second time it was still there, the third time it was still there, the fourth time, and then it disappeared into the shadows. I did ask the pendulum a question, and the first question I asked is, did I know of anyone that resides in the forest? And it answered me positively. It answered me positively again. Then I asked it, was it that person living? And it's answered with the same one, with the negative. The pendulum was telling me that.
Have you got a feeling who that is?
But I know one gentleman that passed away, tragically not so far away from me. He lived close by. He was an active outdoor person, so you might find peace in a place like this. I've asked the pendulum the same question as to whether he's finding peace. And the response is undecided. I felt a presence. I asked, was it the person that I thought it was? The pendulum answered. And then I asked, did he know who I was? And the pendulum responded again. I'm just asking for him to move the pendulum. The pendulum responds to the word powerful. The presence is at one with nature, and it and we have nothing to fear.
What's your feeling of this place now, Peter?
Even though it's a situation that, as I see it, isn't created by nature, it has a crossover from, you might say, from what business had tried to achieve through nature. And maybe for that reason, it becomes a meeting point for spirits and for presence of all kinds.
There's many ways to connect to the other side. Tonight, we're going to come back to this forest and to attempt to communicate. With Dan's help and knowledge of the subject, let us dwell into the XRealm.
Using to fully activate the circle tonight. Each of them have particular properties. Each of them will be set at a cardinal point. They're very, very strong crystals, and they're very powerful for protection and for the work that we want to do out here. Okay. Guardians of the East, of water and emotion, I call you in to protect us and guard us from fear. Guardians of the North, I call on fire and passion. I call you to protect us and guard us from pain. Guardians of the West, I call you for air and communication to protect us and help us speak truth. Guardians of the South, of earth and healing, I call you in to protect us and guard us, keep us grounded as we work. Air moves us, fire transforms us, water shapes us, earth heals us. Guardians, stand by us now. The circle is open. So, I'm going to sit here for a while and see what comes up. So, we opened the circle. It was a very safe place, and we have to respect the fact that they don't want to communicate. It's very, very calm and positively serene. Nothing like a David Jones Christmas sale. So, it's very, very good here tonight. And we're all in agreement that nothing's going to be jumping out at us, because we're not here to do any harm. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close the circle and pull it apart so I can get out of here with some safety. Alright, here we go. Guardians of the South, we thank you and release you. Guardians of the West, we thank you and release you. Guardians of the North, we thank you and release you. Guardians of the East, we thank you and release you. All right. That is how you open and close a simple communicating circle.
After the ritual of communication, I took some random photos in the dark, and it's really weird when I enhanced one photo, it seemed to have an object, a entity, a figure standing in the foreground, and when I compared it to the other photos I took, I truly cannot account for what this object is.
Thank you for watching the episode The Enchanted Forest. This location has revealed to me and given me some experiences that I'll never forget. Witnessing other people who I've brought into this location and how they've interacted with spirit has taught me a lot. When you're inside a building or a home or a man-made structure and you do an investigation, you're thinking more about earthbound spirit of someone died and there's a spirit there. But an outdoor area like this, well, not everything's human that is interacting between the physical, astral and the spirit world. There are things that dwell on our physical realm that are just not human. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.